Oh, yeah?
Welcome back to Harvester, I guess. Last episode we finally met Stephanie, who's sitting right there. We found out that she has amnesia, just like us, and we seem to be trapped in this town. I'm guessing we're stuck into some sort of simulation, and everyone is fucking weird. So we're going to spend the rest of this episode going to all of the other areas in town. Can I go in here? The closet door won't budge. Apparently not. Yeah, we're going to go around town and see what else we can see today. How the hell do I get out of here? Exit. Jesus, the navigation in this game is hard. Alright. Abandoned house. Let's go there. Hello. Hi. Tetsuya Crumb?
It's not often that I get visitors. I am Tetsuya Crumb. The ignorant of harvest called me the Wasp Woman. A pejorative, no doubt, born of fear and a poverty of imagination.
I don't understand.
The politics of honey, the Judeo-Christian rites of sacrifice and conventional taboos against unbridled pleasure are all responsible for the prejudice against wasps.
Okay.
The politics of honey are intertwined with the age-old struggle of the aesthetic versus the commercial. Because I choose to raise wasps instead of bees, I'm frowned upon by the community. Why? Well, raising bees is acceptable because they produce honey. But sometimes it's not what is produced, so much as what is performed.
I don't see any particular use for wasps.
Why must everything have a use? Is money always the determining factor? More slender, more aerodynamic than the bee, the wasp is a joy to behold. Beautiful and juicy. Isn't that enough to compensate for the little drawbacks?
You fucking weirdo.
Regard the wasp. Wasps produce nothing for others, but only for themselves. Wasps build nests and more wasps, nothing more. They spread into eaves and attics, not to make honey for supermarkets, but to buzz and rustle on their own paper, perpetuating their own agenda, growing stealthily, surely, the most relentless of insects.
Yes, thank you for playing the movie again.
Well, as you can see, the little darlings do love to sting. Another source of prejudice for the masses, and another reason to love them. Bees are like animals. They sting only for a reason, for sacrifice. They have no conception of individual sensation, of pleasure.
Sacrifice.
When a bee stings, it rips itself apart and dies for its audacity. This appeals to those raised worshipping a god that demands sacrifice and atonement. But the wasp is promiscuous. They are not as sympathetic to the masses, because they don't die when they sting. They live to sting another day, and they take pleasure from it.
Pleasure.
Yes, a great deal of pleasure. The wasp is a sensual being, not a laborer, hedonistic instead of industrial. Some think them quick to anger. In truth, they are easily swayed to ecstasy. They penetrate your flesh, and the muscular contractions in their thorax as they pump venom could be likened to the muscular contractions of ejaculation.
Cool.
Each painful welt, an act of love.
I don't think much is going to surprise me anymore about this game. Bye. Let's get the hell out of here. Okay. Let's leave her to her Wasp Town. Johnson Residence, Cemetery. We're supposed to go to the mortuary. With the town logo on the front. The hideous symbol stands out like a swastika or a flattened spider. Okay. Examine the candles, examine the schedule, the ledger. Those dear to us who have passed recently. Jonathan A. Rhinecliffe. I can take the ledger. Okay. Funerary events. Can I talk to anyone? Hello? Examine the casket. An empty vessel of the dead. The imprint of the head, buttocks, and sliding heels are scraped into the thick dust of the pew. A hauntingly beautiful stained glass window in which a man holds a scythe in one hand and some ethereal power in the other. I like the music here, actually. I don't know about the whip sounds. It says there's supposed to be a dude here. I don't see no dude. Okay. Let's head to the cemetery then. Examine the tombstone. Here lies Boxcar Willie. 2 years in harvest was too long. Fear not in death. Monte Jakes. Another unknown visitor. This tombstone is unmarked. Yet another resting place amongst the graves. Ha ha ha. The marble doors have been sealed shut. The Potsdam family crypt. Oh, we have a giant crypt here. It says there's supposed to be a dude here to talk to. There's no one here. Alright, well, fuck the cemetery, I guess. Alright. Let's head to the fire station. Where's that? Hello.
Please excuse the mess. They've done wonders with the upstairs bedroom, but this garage defies color coordination. Sorry, Steve. After I'm through here, I've got cleaning to do. Rush, rush. Sorry, Steve.
A fire truck with a lovely shade of pink. Okay. So is this guy supposed to be the stereotypical gay dude?
Sorry, Steve.
Alright. What? Excuse me? What the fuck is this? Male model.
I don't converse on the job, Steve. I don't converse on the job, Steve.
Alright.
Hello, Steve. Welcome to the House of Flame, as we like to call it. Oh, cut it out, Spots, honestly. Once he gets barking, a good piece of meat is the only way to shut him up. There you go, Spot. So, Steve, bet you don't remember me. Heard about that short in the old wiring. I'm Fire Marshal Sparky, head of your fire department.
Why are you sketching nude men in my fire department?
Please, it's not the subject, it's the process. Don't be such a party pooper, Steve. We're talking about art. Besides, we haven't had a fire in Harvest since the newspaper building burned down. Though I'll admit that the Wasp Woman's place is one big accident waiting to happen. Isn't that right, Spots?
What the fuck is this game, dude?
Art enriches the community, Steve. No less than a pulsing fire hose or a fireman beating down a blazing door. So what if we're drawing a nude man? So what if all we ever draw is a nude man, or the same nude man over and over in all sorts of provocative positions? Context, not content. Process, not subject. Don't be so ghost, Steve. It's beneath you. A dreadful affair. You wouldn't think that a brick and steel building with a sprinkler system could go up that quickly.
Maybe you were too busy drawing to put it out in time.
Art enriches the community.
Right, okay. Wasp Woman. Wasp Woman.
Some people think all we do is sit around, sketching, fetching examples of manhood for our own amusement. Nothing could be further from the truth. Why, just the other day we cited Tetsuo Crumb for fire code violations. All the dried out paper wasp nests clustered around our wooden house. Why, it's a chem log just waiting for the right. Believe me, none of us wants to see another fiasco like the Sentinel fire.
Alright.
A dreadful.
Right. Think it was arson?
Oh, please. Dwayne was glad enough to see the thing go up, and so was McKnight. If you could get into that safe in his wall... Forget it. Look, Steve, as far as I know, the fire was an accident. Let's just leave it at that. Now don't you go moving.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cool.
Don't bother me, I'm sketching. Oh, look what you made me do!
Okay. I don't even know what to fucking think anymore. Okay, let's go to the newspaper building. Yeah, so this burned down. Examine the ashes. What's left of the newspaper building after an extreme fire? At least the plumbing held up. What am I supposed to do here? It says there's a shovel here. The shovel is sticking out of the ashes. Okay, got the shovel. Use the shovel on the ashes. Buried in the ash debris, you spot a few hidden remnants. It's a flyer for the Harvest Bake Sale. And a postal worker's button, and it looks like it was ripped from the cloth. Okay. Is that all we need here? Cool. Alright, let's leave. Now we're going to go to the police station. Hello. The cop ignores you. Too busy writing a bug report. I get it, because it's a bug. Cool. Hello.
Hello, Steve. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sheriff Dwayne, and this here's Loomis.
Pleasure, I reckon.
Then, we haven't met before?
Of course we have, but I heard about your alleged amnesia and figured I'd play along. I sure hope this is just a prank, and not the start of some insanity plea. Keep your nose clean, or you'll wind up in jail, and that's no place to hold a wedding.
Amnesia.
Why do you want to break your poor mama's heart with all this amnesia bunk?
I'm telling you the truth. Why won't anyone believe me?
Well, you've always been a kidder, Steve.
God!
Yeah, so everybody keeps telling me.
Boy, you need to stop all this funning and get serious. You've got a wedding coming up soon. Heck, you should be thinking about your career and about joining the lodge. Amnesia or no, you can't have forgotten you're about to marry the prettiest little thing in Harvest. I think you and Stephanie are perfect for each other. I just hope her father's disappointment doesn't spoil everything.
Disappointment?
Mr. Potsdam wants to hold the wedding in the lodge, but he'll never get in. Like all the rest, he's always hanging around the post office the first day of the month, waiting for Boyle to bring out that month's lodge applications. And there's always a long line, never enough applications to go around, and even if you do get an application, chances are you're right out of luck. Fewer called to the order and even less accepted. And Potsdam, well, they've turned him down so many times, unless he does something radical, he'll never get in.
All right, crime.
Crime-wise, nothing much has happened in Harvest since the newspaper fire. Oh, sure. Every week or so we get the odd transient dropping dead. But other than that, it gets pretty slow around here.
Okay.
We get a lot of bums, drifters passing through Harvest. Those people are never very healthy to start with. I figure they come to our fair town, look around, and decide it's a nice place to die.
You mean they drop dead here on a regular basis?
Like flies. I'd slap 'em all in jail if I could, but there's never enough room. Besides, they're pretty good about not sticking around long. Sure, it's a burden on Mr. Barnahan, though, having to bury them all. I only hope the PTA Lodge bake sale will help out along those lines.
Jail.
Now, that's a place you don't want to wind up, boy. We've got a 3 strikes and you're out rule here in Harvest. You get arrested the 3rd time, you never get out of jail alive. So don't go committing any crimes, boy. Amnesia or no, I'll lock you up pronto.
Crime.
Crime-wise, nothing.
Right. Okay. Bye.
Stop on by any time, Steve.
Let's talk to Deputy Loomis.
Anything I can help you with?
No, just looking around.
Help yourself. Speaking of which, you're real lucky to be marrying Stephanie. She don't look like a good woman. I just hope she don't turn out like Mrs. Loomis, or mercy forbid Mrs. Phelps. Good women can be awful hard on a man's needs, don't you know?
Okay. A man's needs.
Why, you sure ought to appreciate what a man's got to do sometimes in a parked car, or a waist-high knothole in a tree.
Ew.
Or jail cell at noon. Matter of fact, Mrs. Phelps got no reason not to sell you some of them French postcard girly picture books. If you can get any, it's see clear to part with them. Bring 'em round when the sheriff's at lunch, and I'd be obliged.
So I gotta bring him the dirty mag when the other guy's not around.
Of course, I don't necessarily mean French postcards. That's just what we called them in my day. Any kind of girly picture book, the kind men like, would be just dandy. I'd be right grateful, kiddo, if you were to bring me one. Mrs. Phelps down at the general store don't help things none. She's got them special picture books, the one with the ladies. But she won't sell me none on account of she knows my wife, Mrs. Loomis. Dadgum if that don't burn my britches. If and I even ask about 'em, she tells Mrs. Loomis, and I get the broom. Enough to break a man's heart, her burning my French postcards, and me unable to replace them. A man's got needs, don't you know?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Anytime, kiddo.
Let's get the hell out of here. We'll deal with Mr. Pervy later. Okay. Edna's Diner. We're just making the rounds here. Open 24 hours for who? It's 51 people in this town. Oh, there's the sheriff. He's already moved.
Hello there, Steve. Here for lunch?
No, just here looking around, though I'm not entirely sure where here is.
Oh, I forgot. You're playing your little amnesia prank. Well, boy, this is DNA's diner. Isn't that right, Edna?
Don't listen to Sheriff Dwayne. This is Edna's diner. But ever since the E burned out on the sign, they've been giving me a hard time.
Now, don't be like that, Edna. It's a great place to eat, which is good, since it's the only place to eat in Harvest.
Bye.
Stop on by any time, Steve.
Hello, Edna.
Oh, Steve, what are you doing, sneaking up on me like that? God, for a second I thought you were Mr. Johnson. What would you like to order?
Who are you?
Well, you're in Edna's diner. That ought to be your first clue.
I thought this was DNA's diner.
Very funny. If certain customers would stop pretending to have amnesia and order some food, maybe I could afford to get that sign fixed. Might even be able to buy enough extra letters to spell Fitzpatrick.
I'm not pretending.
Now, Steve, faking amnesia won't help anything. If you don't want to marry Stephanie, then don't. But don't play sick, for heaven's sake. I'd expect that from Karen, not an 18-year-old.
Who's Karen?
You've met Karen, my 8-year-old. Other than the diner, she's all I have.
All right. Stephanie.
There isn't a nicer girl in Harvest than Stephanie, Steve. You should be grateful that she's promised you her hand.
I don't remember that happening, Edna.
Honestly, you men are so childish. I don't know what it is about marriage that turns even the bravest man into a coward. I was going to marry Karen's father when he just up and ran out on me one night. I heard that he joined the lodge, but if he did, I never saw him come out again. Even Sheriff Dwayne wasn't able to find out what happened to him.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson has a liking for me. I call it a crush, but that's too innocent a word. He's a bitter man with too much time on his hands. He's never gotten over being rejected by the lodge, and there's something unwholesome in the way he looks at me. I'm always glad when the sheriff comes in every day at noon.
Lodge.
The lodge is the repository of all wisdom. You should join the Order of the Harvest Moon, Steve, and soon.
Why? For God's sake, what is it about this place?
The wheat ripens and waits not for the scythe. The farmer who waits too long, it were better that he use the scythe to rip his own stomach out than to stay his scythe when the wheat ripens.
The fuck?
The harvest moon wanes and then comes winter. An empty belly, the body sans belly, gurgling within or bloody on the ground. What does it benefit a man if he gains his soul and loses the world? You hunger. Feed yourself before it's too late. Oh.
Edna?
Steve. What happened? Were we talking about Boyle? Or was it Karen?
You seemed strange there for a minute.
I'm sorry. I'm under a lot of stress. Running this diner all alone. Forgive me.
Okay.
Stop by anytime, Steve.
That bitch is creepy.
Hi, what's your name?
Karen,
What are you doing?
playing. My mom is working, so I gotta stay out of her hair. Wanna play?
Not now, maybe later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. We're supposed to examine the drawer and take the screwdriver. This town is a bit screwy. Okay, I guess we're good to leave and head back to the police station now that the sheriff is here. Hello. Would you like your girly magazine? Where is it?
Oh, by George. Oh, by Jiminy. Oh, this here's the real thing. Oh, can I have it?
Sure.
Oh, thank you, Steve. Excuse me, kiddo. I gotta go check the jail for clean towels.
Ew. I am not going in there. An empty file cabinet called Solved Cases. Unsolved arson, and it's full. Door's locked. Unsolved murders, and it's full. The drawer's unlocked. Let's open it. Let's see. Examine the note. A barely legible note. Pick it up. Sheriff Dwayne's checkbook. Pick it up. And, key. Key to the evidence room. I'll take it. What did I pick up here? Deposit, boil. Deposit, boil. Deposit, boil. Check to Edna's. Lots of deposits to boil. Tulips, ammunition. 1 crate of shells. Okay. And then what was on the note? Sheriff, if you think I'm going to keep paying this forever, you are crazy. There are limits. Boyle. Is the sheriff blackmailing people? Alright. Door is locked. We got the key. Hopefully that's the evidence room and not the jerk-off room.
Well, that didn't work.
Okay, what about this one? There we go. Examine the doll. Not surprisingly, Loomis has tainted this evidence. Fucking ew, dude. Let's see. Examine the bear. A fuzzy bear wielding a chainsaw. A pair of binoculars without lenses. A VW engine sits rusted. Look out for the tidy bowl man. Gas can. Santa hat. A vital clue in the mysterious Jolly Fat Man murder spree. Examine the padlock. Examine the toast. The most improbable of all murder weapons. Toast. Bathroom is missing a razor. Okay, I'm supposed to find a shoe. An empty gas can. Let's take it. Dartboard. Lawn dart. Sneakers. Pair of bloody sneakers. Great. We're going to trade that to Newspaper Boy, I imagine. Shaving kit. Camera. The Instashot camera. Point and click. Got it. I think that's it. Sneaker, gas can, camera. Okay. Examine the fridge. From the smell of it, you wouldn't want to open the fridge. Looks like one of Loomis's late relatives. Cabinets are empty. Alright.
Hello, Steve. Where's Loomis?
You'll be coming around the mountain if you come. Oh, that's...
Oh my god.
Loomis, damn you!
Wait, no.
You pervert!
No!
Lighting up the mattress again! Rolling up the towels! Charlie, snake!
No!
Okay. Jesus Christ. Why am I playing this? What the hell is this? Examine the Indians? Too busy drinking and smoking, they ignore you. Oh my god. Okay. no. Alright.
Stay tuned, buckaroos. There's more to come on Range Riders Cowboy Roundup. So don't go away. And what's your name, hombre?
Steve.
Steve's a swell name. My dog's name is Steve. Would you like my autograph, Steve?
No. I'd like to know who owns the station.
You'd want to talk to Mr. McKnight, buckaroo. I'm just Range Rider, the cowpoke's cowpoke. You gotta excuse me, youngin'. I gotta ski-daddle to the watering hole and back before the commercial's over.
TV violence.
Violence? What about it?
Children watch your show. Don't you think this violence is bad for them? Sure.
Violence is as American as apple pie and low SAT scores. Where would we be right now if the cowboys hadn't gone out west and butchered innocent people to steal their land? Answer me that, Mr. Know-It-All.
But what about studies that have shown that children become more violent when watching violence?
Buckaroo, I rip the guts out of godless heathen Injuns. Most kids don't see godless heathen Injuns on a regular basis, and if they do, they better either get their eyes checked or do like old Range Rider and shoot the bejesus out of them, lest they want to go untreated for psychotic hallucinations, or wind up with their scalps hanging from a buckskin belt. Oh, shit! Ow! Shit on a stickaroo! The parents that are griping about violence on TV are the same parents that go outside in the morning to fetch their papers, secure in the knowledge that they won't get an arrow through the noodle because the violence they hate so much done cleared the engines out of the neighborhood.
Yeah, civilization has benefited from violence. But should violence be treated as entertainment?
Check my rating, son. Violence is entertainment. I just put it on the air. If some kid watches, that says something about the kid, not me. Now, excuse me, we're going back on the air.
Okay. So, I take it this game is just a tongue-in-cheek look at violence in America, I'm guessing. Where's Mr. McKnight? Hello.
Hey, Sport. This is a private office.
Yeah, I know, Mr.
McKnight. I own and operate this station. Have you brought me some news for tonight's broadcast, or...
I've lost my memory. That's news.
The hell it is! You always were a kidder, Steve.
God!
Any real news to tell me?
Actually, I was just wanting to know more about the TV station.
Hey, WHAR is the only television station in Harvest. Since the old Sentinel went under, what with the newspaper building burning down and all, we're golden. Nobody competes with us, Sport.
What an odd coincidence.
Hey now, Sport, that's an irresponsible allegation. I had nothing to do with that fire. Just because WHAR may have benefited from it and I danced on the ashes a little, doesn't mean I torched the place. You can ask Sheriff Dwayne if you have any doubts.
You seem awfully touchy on the subject, Sport.
I'm touchy when people try to muscle their way into my business. I'd appreciate it if you'd leave my office and don't come back.
Yeah. Examine the picture. The picture of a gorgeous model signed with Kiss My Pineapple, Red Muffy. Uh-huh. And there's a safe behind it. Mr. McKnight's secret safe. It requires a number combination before it can be accessed. Alright. Now let's go to the school next. Gain Memorial School. Gein, like Ed Gein. Gein Memorial Bake Sale. Hello, Principal.
Steve, good of you to drop by, big guy. Haven't seen you since graduation. A lot of changes, I hear.
You could say that.
Good, good. That's a nice part of my job. Turning fine young men and women out into the world, and then watching them prosper. Of course, I was able to reach more people at the old Sentinel, God bless her. But then again, I never got to see the results of my work up close before.
Who are you?
You know very well I'm Mr. Harold, principal of Gain Memorial. Steve, I've heard about this amnesia nonsense. I had hoped you'd be in the lodge by now, fine young fellow like yourself. But now, I think maybe you need a little more quality time.
Sentinel.
Boy, I sure miss the old newspaper. The sheriff never did investigate that fire properly. Call it a newspaperman's instinct, though I can't imagine why Sheriff Dwayne would cover up anything. I mean, the only ones who stood to profit from the newspaper going out of business was the owner of the TV station, and Mr. McKnight had an airtight alibi. Still, if not for the fire, I never would have wound up as principal of Gain Memorial.
Gain Memorial? Sounds like a cemetery or a hospital, not a school.
This institution was named for a great man, whose first name escapes me. He epitomized the great potential within us all, big guy.
Yeah.
I hear there's an honorary plaque commemorating him within the lodge.
Lodge. Lodge.
Big guy, borrowing some quality time. The greatest gift I can bestow upon you as your former principal is a word of advice. Join the Order of the Harvest Moon at any cost. Within the lodge lies your future, and without, dust.
Okay. Big guy?
Why do you keep calling me big guy?
A sign of respect, lad. As principal, my station is higher than yours now, but you never know what the future holds, so you should always hedge your bets and pay tribute to your inferiors. You never know who will come to power, or who, even now, wields it behind the scenes. For all I know, you might already be a member of the Order, with access to the lodge. If that were the case, you'd be my superior, and I'd be all that much better off having shown you respect and spent some quality time with you.
Why does he keep saying it like that? Why is he making it weird?
What do you mean, quality time?
Some, like Miss Whaley, favor stern discipline, corporal punishment, as a means of socialization. Myself, I temper discipline with love.
Ew!
Quality time can be such a warm, sharing experience. After just a few sessions, you'd stop this amnesia nonsense and become a productive member of society and a fit candidate for the lodge.
Okay, bye.
Drop in again soon. Adult education is a wonderful thing, as is adult quality time.
Stop! Stop saying it like that. Examine the broom closet. It's locked. Okay. Enter the classroom. Okay. Hi.
My goodness, class, this is Stephen. He used to be a student here at Gain Memorial. Say hello, class. They're reticent. The educator's gravest problem today is the apathy of the students.
What's wrong with their
heads? I can tell you in one word, Stephen. Discipline. Thank goodness you weren't a sulky bear. You were always a smiley bear.
Then you remember me?
Not as such. So many pupils, Stephen. They come and they go. But I can always spot those who were nice boys. You can tell from the forehead. The lobes. Right, class? I'm glad you stopped by, Stephen. Would you care to say a few words to the class about civic responsibility?
Not really. I was just passing through.
Oh, but you must, Stephen. A positive role model might be just the thing to inspire these little monsters. Stephen, have you any questions for me? Or shall I continue with class?
Yeah, sure.
Ask away then.
Corporal punishment. You're beating your students?
We don't practice corporal punishment here. I've never believed in that old adage, spare the rod and spoil the child. A rod is too thin. But a baseball bat?
Shh.
That bridges the generation gap quite nicely.
Oh my god!
Oh dear. Colonel Monroe is conducting another air raid drill. Everyone into the hallway, quick!
If an A-bomb hits, what good is it gonna do to duck and cover?
Oh my god.
My stars, that was exciting.
What the fuck? Alright.
Stop by anytime, Stephen.
Did you know in Harvest that the alphabet ends with J? Okay, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't even fucking know anymore. Oh my god. Okay. Let's go to the meat plant. There's like cats everywhere. Is this where the meat comes from? A red brick building with a horrible stench coming from within. This will be good. Oh god. Examine the splotch. It used to be a kitty cat. Cool.
Steve, how's your father? Is he better?
About the same, I guess.
He's been away from work for weeks, and when I call your house, your mother won't let me talk to him.
I haven't seen him either.
This is a fine kettle of fish, I must say, though I am glad to see you taking an interest in the business in your dad's absence.
Who are you?
Aw, Steve, I didn't want to believe that amnesia hokum. Now you're saying you don't remember your pal Pat O'Reilly?
Dad's illness.
What exactly is wrong with your dad?
I don't know.
I wouldn't worry about it too much, Steve. You should be thinking about running the family business one day. That and getting into the lodge.
Family business.
You may come to realize that this business is not for everybody. Just ask your poor, ill dad. It takes dedication and a strong stomach. A lot of times, when I'm finished scrubbing up and digging the bits of intestine out from my fingernails,
Jeez.
I must confess I don't have much appetite for red meat. But red meat is one of the principal food groups, and you've got to have it. So when you can do this all day and help yourself to a juicy red steak afterwards, then by golly, you can call yourself a butcher. Of course, amnesia would certainly help that, wouldn't it?
Alright. Meat.
Come to think of it, I don't see any cattle around here. Where do you keep the animals?
Does it matter? The end product is all the customer cares about, Steve. And we only carry the finest meat, only the juiciest cuts. Once you take over the business, you'll realize the importance of maintaining quality while cutting costs. We know what we're doing here, Steve. If we didn't, would the lodge use us to cater their affairs?
Can I have some meat to take home?
Your father's very particular about the profit, Steve. No freebies for anyone. But seeing how you're his son, if you'll bring written permission from your father, I'll give you the meat.
Okay. Cutting costs.
There are certain tricks of the trade, Steve. Once your dad gets better and you start working in here cutting up the meat, you'll be privy to them. There's always cheaper, better ways to do things, if you're creative.
Why do they keep playing the same fucking movie over and over?
Don't be such a stranger, Steve, and my best to your dad.
Okay. So we needed to talk to him, I guess, to get the information about the permission slip. Missile base. Is that just a man with no legs? Just... Okay. Thank you for joining me on the second episode of Harvester. This game is just getting even more batshit fucking crazy, and I hope you're enjoying it. This, I don't know what to think anymore. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.